Hi everyone, I'm Paige Abbott and this is your weekly recovery message. I hear the question all the time of what caused this from people who are struggling with addiction, and they try and go back and pinpoint what exactly was the trigger. Was it how they were raised, a lack of kind of parental supervision, love, affection, discussion of feelings? Was it a relationship that they had been in? Was it exposure to a particular substance? Or was it some trauma that they had experienced early on in life? And the bottom line is that none of these incidents actually cause addiction. They're activators, they exacerbate the underlying issue, but addiction is a primary condition, meaning that it's not secondary to environment, exposure, or trauma. We know that addiction is a genetic disease, so it comes through the hereditary links passed on by our family and by our ancestors, and that's not something that we have any control over. Now, some of these environmental circumstances, like I mentioned before, family of origin, relationships, exposure, and trauma, they all serve to aggravate or activate the underlying vulnerability, meaning that somebody who has the genetic predisposition to addiction, if they have some of these factors in place, that may help to activate or switch on the underlying genetic vulnerability, but even that's not necessarily a guarantee. So there's many people out there who are likely carrying the genetic vulnerability for addiction who've experienced some of these risk factors, family of origin difficulties, adverse childhood experiences, trauma, exposure to substances, and for whatever reason, that has not activated the addiction gene within them. So the cause of addiction isn't something that I encourage people to really spend much time thinking about or focusing on. And certainly in the context of treatment, if you have a healthcare provider who's trying to convince you, let's figure out the cause, and once we deal with the cause, then somehow the underlying addiction issues will be gone or fixed or remedied, get out of there, run the other way, because that's not healthy treatment, nor is it realistic treatment. This is a primary disease, but it's also a chronic disease. So once it's been activated, you need to look at management of the condition and learning to work with the challenges and the vulnerabilities it will throw up, rather than seeking the cause in order to somehow fix or cure it. So this is a disease that does not have a cure, but certainly the hope that's available for people in recovery is huge, that quality of life can be far greater and higher than with any other chronic disease out there. So recovery truly does work, but it's not a cure, and the purpose of recovery isn't to fix or go back and determine what the inherent cause of addiction was. The cause of addiction is far more both complex and simple at the same time. It's in our DNA, and there's a variety of environmental and internal factors that will determine if it's activated or not. This isn't something that we can really do much about. All we can do is keep learning and working with where we're at and what we have. So if you do have the disease of addiction, embrace recovery. Get out to meetings, connect with other people, learn to work with your feelings and sit with your feelings, maybe look at relaxation techniques and strategies, look at your spirituality and that part of yourself and your world, and get to know yourself, learn to be comfortable with you, and this will all help, and that's far more helpful than trying to figure out what caused this in the first place. So that's my weekly recovery message. I wish you the best for your ongoing journey of recovery in the week ahead, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.